Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3 HR Advisors and sponsored by Paychex, one of the leading providers of HR, payroll, retirement, and software solutions for businesses of all sizes. My name is Steve Boese. Pandemic-driven U.S. vacancy rates hit an all-time high. In 2023, U.S. office vacancies hit a record high of 19.6% in the fourth quarter of the year, surpassing previous peaks last reached in 1991 and 1986, according to data from Moody's Analytics released recently. This is a meaningful metric to monitor as it indicates that office buildings are emptying around the U.S. as companies continue to adapt to the new norms of remote and hybrid working, shrinking their physical footprints and real estate obligations. This transition marks an enormous societal shift as Americans adjust to a whole new way of working and living. These are major changes in the fabric of cities and suburbs around the country, happening so slowly and in such a predictable fashion that the impact on the overall economy so far has been minimal. According to the Moody's Analytics report, the stickiness of hybrid working arrangements has muted office demand, which says in 2023 was the most downbeat year in the office sector since the global financial crisis. Even though 2023 was largely a year of companies and organizations calling people back into the office, we're not seeing that it's typically the standard 5 days a week back in office, said Nick Lutke, an associate economist at Moody's. Hybrid models and flexibility have really become the name of the game. This increase in office vacancies is notable because unlike in past recoveries from an economic crisis, vacancies increased last year while the economy was generally in good shape overall. The report also notes that when we're through the transition in the corporate real estate market, the natural office vacancy rate will likely be higher than it was pre-pandemic. Many economists expect that we're moving toward a new era for the office. In the U.S., we will see a decline in the central business district centered around a big office building or buildings and an increase in more mixed-use setups, areas with office buildings and retail and entertainment and so on. Similar transition happened in the retail sector. Online commerce was supposed to kill brick-and-mortar retail. Instead, it transformed in-person shopping, and office spaces might be the same. For office building owners, of course, this isn't all great news, but the high vacancy rate has been priced into the market, so the systemic risk posed by the office sector does seem minimal. But this is not just a pandemic trend. The office market's current troubles go back to the 1980s, as the Wall Street Journal, which first reported on the vacancy data, noted recently. Back then, a construction boom, particularly in the south of the U.S., where land was inexpensive and regulations relatively less, led to an overbuilding of office space. And then when the recession hit in the early 1990s, a glut of office buildings couldn't find tenants. That glut weighs on the office market to this day. It helps explain why vacancies are far higher in the U.S. than in Europe or in Asia, according to the journal. And interestingly, 5 of the 10 cities with the highest vacancy rates in 2023 were in the South, including Houston, Dallas, Austin, Tampa, and Jacksonville, per the Moody's report. We will continue to monitor trends and developments in the evolving world of remote, hybrid, and in-person working approaches and their impacts on economies here on the HR Happy Hour Media Network. That's it for the Workplace Minute, powered by H3 HR Advisors.